Talofa, and welcome back. I was going to do another story, but I saw this, so I wanted to cover this real quick. It's real short. So this says President Trump preparing to dissolve the U.S. Education Department.
Trump's. We want to return to that big story out of Washington. President Trump's push to downsize the federal government.
Yeah, he's long criticized the Department of Education, and now sources say that he's preparing a new order targeting the agency.
ABC News has learned the Trump administration is preparing to dissolve the department as soon as today. So joining us live from Washington is ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Selena. What do we know at this point about the executive order that Trump is preparing to do this, that it's imminent and could happen even possibly today? What steps would it actually take to dismantle the Department of Education? Couldn't be a simple process.
Hey, great to be with you guys. Yeah, what we know at this moment is that this executive order that President Trump is preparing to sign directs the Secretary of the Department of Education, Linda McMahon, who's only been on the job for a few days, to dismantle the department that she's been chosen to run. Now, this would require an act of Congress. So this
Linda McMahon, that is Vince McMahon. I don't know if they're still married or not. I think they're married. I'm not sure. They're divorced, but she's from the WWE. This is all just... Well, I guess this isn't part of the wrestling match. This is pretty crazy.
Order instructs her to do as much as she can under the law, stating that the powers of the Department of Education should be returned to the states. But to be clear here, most funding for public schools is already at the state and local level, but the Department of Education does oversee some very important tasks, including billions in funding to help low-income students and students with disabilities. It also enforces civil rights laws to prevent discrimination in schools. It also manages about $1.5 trillion in student loan debt and also oversees the process for students that are applying for college financial aid.
So it could have a major impact here. It was interesting when Secretary Linda McMahon was in her hearings, when she was going through confirmation hearings, she openly said, yeah, I'd support President Trump in eliminating the department that she is now running. How likely are we to see this actually succeed?
Yeah, it's a great question. Right now, it is all unclear, but it would be very difficult because, as we've been talking about, this requires congressional action. So it would need 60 votes in the Senate. But Republicans only have a slim majority in the Senate right now, so they need to get Democrats on board with this, which is highly unlikely.
Right.
But it is important to note that this idea of abolishing the Department of Education, it isn't entirely new. Republicans have spoken about it in the past, but historically, it just hasn't gotten the support necessary in Congress.
So if the department were to be dismantled, what would happen to the current programs, the current funding? Where would it go? And do you think the states would be able to, absorb this and make sure that those programs are still available? Or is this really going to impact students?
There are so many big questions when it comes to this, what this would look like, how it would be structured, if the functions of the Department of Education could actually be absorbed into other federal agencies. So that is all up in the air. But we've been talking to education experts, and they say that this is going to gut public funding and that it also would be harming students that need help the most, students who are impoverished, students with disabilities. It could also leave hanging in the balance billions of dollars worth of funds, scholarships, and grants that millions of students in the U.S. rely on. But also key to note here that even if this doesn't get the congressional action necessary to shutter this department, Linda McMahon could take steps to fire workers to diminish the size of the department, as she's already been doing.
Some days, consulting can feel more like being...
So there you go. There you have it. He could be cutting the Department of Education as soon as today. He's doing things swift and fast, and they're quick, fast, and in a hurry. So yeah, I saw that. I figured I wanted to let you guys know. Get your, because I get my information from across the spectrum just like you.